I want to show you a quick way to turn ice cream into an ice cream sundae on a last minute decision. You have a guest come over and you want to have some ice cream for dessert, but you don't want to just have a few scoops of ice cream in the bowl. You want to wow them without a lot of effort. And what really works well if you have the mixture of hot and cold, fruity and smooth. So what I want to show you is a quick way to turn peaches and vanilla ice cream into an ice cream sundae with only a few minutes notice. As long as you have the ingredients in the house, you are all set. The first thing you have to do is chill ice cream bowls, ideally, because we have the mixture of hot and cold, and by putting hot peaches on top of vanilla ice cream, the ice cream will melt so much faster. So if you have cold bowls available, it will be ideal. If you forget it, it's not a big deal, you just have to eat faster. But if you want to have some time to enjoy your ice cream sundae, put those in the freezer first. Aside from the chilled bowls and ice cream, you will need some chopped peaches, a small pot with a little bit of honey or maple syrup in there. This sugar content can be adjusted. If your peaches are really ripe, use less. If they are very unripe and sour, use a little bit more. You can do the same thing with plums. Again, adjust the sugar content depending on your fruits. But I would add a little bit of sugar just to pull some of the juices out of the fruit so that you create a sauce at the same time. So I put a little bit of honey in here. Again, maple syrup also works if you don't want to use honey. And I will add the chopped peaches to this and then put it on the stove. For just a few minutes, I will put the lid on. So once you start to hear them sizzle, you can see here the honey is starting to caramelize a little bit. You can just give the pot a shake to really distribute the peaches a little bit better. Switch it to lower heat, low to medium heat, to have them steam in there a little bit. You don't want the peaches to turn to sauce, you just want them to soften a little bit. So once you have a little bit of sauce in there, the peaches are softer than before and warm well throughout, you're good to go. So at this point I would switch off the stove again to maintain the sauce, leave the lid on until you're ready to serve, and then we will scoop the ice cream. So cold bowls, you start scooping ice cream depending on each person's wishes. It's a big bowl. I wouldn't recommend filling it up with ice cream. I would recommend using a big bowl so that even if the ice cream starts to melt, it's not messy to eat. It will be all contained, so you have room to maneuver it around even if it starts to melt and turns into more of a mess than you would be used to. But with a small bowl, you might have a hard time containing it. With a big bowl, there's no issue. So don't scoop it up all the way, otherwise it's a meal, not a dessert. Then you add the warm peaches. If you want to add a few cookies, crunch for extra texture, right? This is always a good accompaniment too. If you don't have this in the house, this by itself is already delicious.